we have with us three of my students who secured ranks in the Physics IIT JAM 2021. So we have with us Saptarshi Sarkar, who got All India rank 174, and we have Debabrata Day, who scored All India rank 178, and Alekhya Saha, who scored All India rank 200 in the Physics IIT JAM 2021. So all three of them are my students at Elevate classes. So उन्होंने Elevate classes join किया था around September 2020 in the IIT JAM Masterclass batch. And so I wanted to have a conversation with them regarding their journey and their sort of how they prepared for this particular examination. So सबसे पहले तो congratulations to all three of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
So before we start, I just wanted to know a little bit about you guys. मतलब for example, I know that all three of you are from West Bengal, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So आपने कहाँ से अपना graduation किया है, कौन से college से किया है, and why are you into physics? First of all, before we go to JAM, first of all, why are you in physics? What is it that you like? कहाँ से आपने graduation किया है, and just general information about you. One by one, you can start. Alekhya, you want to start?
Yes, sir. Why not? Okay, so I am Alekhya Saha. I am in my third year. I am studying BSc Physics Honors at Ramakrishna Mission Residential College, Narendrapur, under Calcutta University. And the next part of the question is a little, difficult to answer. That why I am into physics. Well, I'll just narrate a little story. When I learned swimming, when I started learning swimming at the age of like 7 or 8, I used to wonder that when I came out of the pool, why did my body feel heavier? Okay, so
Okay.
after that, when I went into class 9 and I learned about the apparent weight, upthrust, flotation, stuff like that, I got the answer. So I got the feeling that you can explain the things that happen around you with the help of physics. And then after that, physics with all its magic lured me in, and that was that.
And you fell in love with the subject.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Saptarshi.
Hello, I am Saptarshi Sarkar. I did my graduation in Holy Motion College and the University of Bardwan, and I graduated in 2020. So I think I fell in love with physics when I was in class 8 or 9. We had some great teachers at our school who always demonstrated everything they taught to us. So I thought that time that it is such a it is a great power to have that we can model anything in the universe. We cannot say if it is truly that, but we can model it and we can give predictions about the universe just by using a bit of maths.
The
I
chaos
also
makes sense.
yes,
The entire chaos makes sense with some
yes.
theory.
I also liked math, but I found it very abstract without using it in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So options were maths or physics, so I took physics.
Okay. Okay. Debabrata.
Hello, sir.
Ah.
My name is Debabrata Day, and I am graduating from Krishnath College, Murshidabad, in West Bengal, and under Kollani University.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to take physics in class 9 in because some teacher in my school, they inspired me,
Mm-hmm.
and I and I uh, and and I always wanted to know why the things around us in daily life is happening, and so that's why I chose.
Why everything is the way they are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all of you are sort of in love with the subject. But when did you decide to give IIT JAM? And when did you actually start preparation? And how has been the journey of preparation been like? If you would like to elaborate on that a little bit from the point of view of a student. Yeah, you can. Anyone can jump in. Alekhya, Saptarshi, Debabrata, anyone
Okay,
can jump
so
in.
I'm starting with that. Well, I came to know about IIT JAM when I joined college. So in my college, there is a huge craze about these exams, IIT JAM, JES, TFR. So I came to know about it from my seniors, from several of my seniors who have cracked that subject, who have cracked this exam. And so from that, and I started my preparations Well, a year before, like I started my preparations from 2020. I mean, January, February this time. But
Okay.
that was a little not exactly very consolidated because I was busy with semesters and all. I properly started my preparation after lockdown fell. So from March, April this time on,
So
March, April of
lockdown
2020. Yeah.
has been a little benefit na, for people who want to study.
It has been an excellent boon for me because the college, I mean, the pressure of the college studies reduced by a little bit because practicals and etc. were not there, and I was able to join elevate classes because of that, because otherwise I could not have joined. So yeah, lockdowns were a boon for me, however bad that might sound.
Okay, okay. Saptarshi and Devavata, you can jump in anytime you want.
So my
Yes.
story is a bit, I think, interesting in the way I get. When I went to college, it was like a rite of passage that once you finish graduation, you had to give IIT JAM, and then if you got it or not got, that is a different matter. But
It's a
that was
rite of
at this.
passage there in a college.
Yeah, yes, it was a rite of passage. You have to give
Uh-huh.
it.
Okay.
So I gave IIT JAM in 2020. I took a bit of coaching, but it was not like I didn't do my best
Mm-hmm.
because it was all the college stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then after a few months, I gave the exam for BHU,
Mm-hmm.
and I got selected BHU. I got ranked 38. So
Okay.
now I received the call letter from BHU, and I'm thinking my friends are saying that we should give JAM again. I'm not sure. And then I saw your video on For the Love of Physics of a
On my
JAM
YouTube channel.
masterclass. Yeah, so that
Okay.
was a turning point for me. I saw the your video and I decided I will not go to BHU. I deleted the email from BHU and I joined your masterclass.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Nice, yeah,
Yes, in fact,
nice.
Saptarshi that even sent me that the mail after he got it, after he got that marks. I mean, after he tallied with the answer key, that I had this letter with me. Then I
Okay.
saw sir's video and I
So
joined.
it was like a leap of faith for me fully.
हाँ, it must have been a leap of fate यार. I mean, मैं तो मतलब you gave me so much trust. I just put up a video that I'm starting something like this, and you decided to
Yes,
prepare.
sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I had done nuclear physics from your channel before.
Yes,
Before
same,
that,
same.
so when I saw that video, I was like, okay, I have to join this now. I have to join this because I was desperately looking for somewhere trustworthy. So I
Okay.
I joined that then. I took that decision in a matter of minutes.
Okay, I'm very happy to hear this यार. मुझे मालूम नहीं था. I'm feeling very happy that you gave me that kind of a trust, and I hope that I have stood up to the expectations.
Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, Devabrata, when did you start preparing, and what's your story?
I came to know about the IIT JAM in HS, and I decided that I will go to IIT. And every year from my college, there are 4 or 5 students uh, who go to IIT and after giving JAM, and so I also decided, and I came to know the about 11 classes from your YouTube channel for the love of physics.
Acha, all
Uh,
three of you got to know from the YouTube channel, na?
Yeah, yes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
And then you started.
I started prepare with the classes.
थोड़ा सा वैसे हमने लेट शुरू किया था लास्ट टाइम बिकॉज इट वाज सितंबर.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, वी द रीज़न वाज दैट मेरे को ना जुलाई के टाइम पे कोविड हो गया था. आई वाज इन
Yes, sir.
हॉस्पिटल
I
in June, and it took me almost like a month or 2 months to properly recover back to my strength. So because of that, when I got COVID na, I mean, I'm sort of diverting into a different tangent, but when I got COVID in May June ke time pe, I was hospitalized. I came back home. I stayed at home, like trying to recover for the month or two, and then that was the time when I decided that I want to start something like this, and the entire preparation took some time, and then we started in September. एनीवेज, थोड़ा सा आप लोग कुछ स्ट्रेटजीज बताइए फॉर एनी योर जूनियर्स हु आर गोइंग टू प्रिपेयर फॉर जैम in the next year. What sort of prep strategies, what sort of advice, what kind of suggestions you can give them, the strategies that you have followed जो आपको benefit किया है और जो आपको लगता है कि आप follow करते तो और benefit होता in general.
Yes, sir. for those students who are preparing for IIT JAM 2022, I tell them that you have 1 year ahead of you, and this is enough time for preparation. And uh, when you start something, some topics, you must look up the syllabus for that topic, and first cover the theory portion, and then solve the problems corresponding to that topic, then solve the PYQs corresponding to that topics, and find the time gap from your daily routine in and regularly do prepare. But remember one thing: don't take all the time for the preparation, because you have BSc exams, and you need to score well in that exams too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, um, you can prepare on your own, or you can take some online coaching. Like I took 11 classes. I get a lot of help from that class, and I am highly benefited from it. And but at the end of the day, it is your self study which is more important. And
Mm-hmm.
so best of luck
Self
for
study is
2022.
always, yeah, self study is always
And
important at the end of the day. You can take the horse to the river, but he has to drink the water himself at the end of the day, है ना? सो थोड़ा बहुत जैसे कि एक बात बताओ, कितना अगर कोई आज के टाइम पे सेकेंड ईयर या थर्ड ईयर में आया है स्टूडेंट, ही इज़ प्लानिंग, हाउ मच टाइम फ्रेम डू यू थिंक ही शुड गिव, and how many hours of study that he should do self study? Let's suppose 6 months, 7 months. What do you think for if they are preparing for this?
Yeah, I would say that it does not matter really how long you study,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you you can focus for that long. Because if you study for 8 hours and you forget after 5 hours everything, then it's just a wasted time.
So it depends upon the
Yeah,
person how
it should
they.
be done like smartly. It should not be hard work. It should be smart work.
Hmm. Alekhya, what do you think?
Sir, I mean the time frame. What you said that is of two types. One is for how many months, and one is for how many hours a day. For
Mm-hmm.
how many months, what I feel is it depends on your preparation before that. How much you know physics. If you
Mm-hmm.
are well versed with class 12th physics, like you know physics well till JEE mains level or so, then I'll say 5 months, 6 months is more than sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not very well versed, then I must say that you should give at least 1 or 1.5 years to it. That is one thing. And the other thing is that number of hours in a day. I personally don't believe in number of hours in a day. What I used to do is I used to wake up in the morning. I used to keep I used to list down some topics which I should complete at the end of the day, and that would have been in accordance with a long-term plan. Like for example, to finish one huge topic in 1 month, I must do this portion in one day. So I
Mm-hmm.
used to segregate them topic wise. Of course, I did not used to load too many topics together, but that is the thing. I never counted my studies with hours, like 4 hours, 6 hours, or like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
अच्छा, एक बात बताओ, इस साल का जो पेपर था कंपेयर टू द प्रीवियस इयर्स, हाउ वाज इट, हाउ डिफरेंट वाज इट?
It was I think bit more conceptual this time around.
इट वाज बिट मोर conceptual.
Yes.
ओके, अच्छा एक
What I
थोड़ा,
felt the
या,
MCQ, I mean, the MCQs were of the same level as the previous year or 2019 or anything, but
हम्म,
what I felt was the MSQs were a little trickier than
हम्म,
usual, and NATs required better concepts. I mean, were quite tougher than the previous year.
because the
This is the
paper
thing.
was made by ISC na this time.
Yes, I mean, it resembled an ISC paper actually. Like the distribution was all awkward. Like there were never so many optics questions asked before in IIT JAM. So that's the thing. It was a
हाँ,
little different from those papers set by IITs. So
ऑप्टिक्स में थोड़ा
that's
सा
why the
ज़्यादा फोकस था इस बार.
yeah,
इज अ
yeah.
सरप्राइज.
That's why like with my marks in 52.67, the rank in the previous year was 250. This time it's 200. So it says that the paper was a little trickier than the previous year.
हम्म. हम्म. ओके, थोड़ा सा एक जैसे बच्चे फिजिक्स पढ़ते हैं तो थोड़ा सा लेट अस गिव देम सम एडवाइस रिगार्डिंग द काइंड्स ऑफ बुक्स दैट दे कैन रेफर टू, यू नो, यू हैव 7 or 8 डिफरेंट सेक्शंस इन द IIT JAM. So, what kind of books have you been referring to that has really helped you, in your preparation? Let's start with, let's suppose, mechanics. Like mechanics के लिए आपको सबसे best books कौन सा लगा?
I used a Clipner for total.
Klepner and Colin को, yeah, of course, standard book. Anything apart from Klepner that you have used?
Not for jam, but in university, in college, we had a local books, and it was, I think, it was A.B. Gupta or something.
But that was for mostly university level preparation, no?
Yes,
Okay. But for concepts, Klepner is solid book. You can
yes,
trust it
Clipner is very
anytime.
good. It's
What
very.
about, yeah? What about, let's suppose, modern physics and electromagnetism and other subjects like that? Solid state. What about those topics?
For
Oh,
electromagnetism, DJ Griffith.
Griffiths, yes. Classic book, yes. Electromagnetism के लिए. But
Mm.
उसका taste थोड़ा अलग होता है. You have to develop that taste for those kind of, And what about the other subjects? Solid state and mathematical physics, and optics and thermal. What sort of books you referred to?
For mathematical physics, I used H.K. Das.
H. Kadas, yeah. H. Kadas is there. Shom series
I
use
used,
किया है? Shom series,
just vector analysis,
yes,
basically.
Scrum
sir.
vector
series only
analysis,
the
Vector
vector analysis
analysis,
course.
complex
Spicer.
variables.
complex variables. Okay, okay. What about thermal
Yes,
thermal physics?
I used S. Garg Bansal for
I
Garg
used
Bansal,
Gupta
yes.
Roy, sir.
Gupta Roy, okay, okay, okay. What about modern physics?
Arthur
Modern physics, I
Weiser.
felt for
That's
IIT JAM level, H.C. Verma was sufficient. When Griffiths and Zetli were a little too much for JAM.
Zetli is too much for Jam. Zetli is Jam के लिए ज़रूरी है ही नहीं. Arthur
For JAM,
Weiser is
H.C.
also good.
Verma used to be sufficient.
yes.
H.C.
I
Verma
use
and a
Arthur
little bit
Weiser.
of Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur Weiser is good. Griffiths is also good. They're
I
sufficient enough.
and PYQs were very helpful in each of the portions. Previous year questions were extremely useful of JAM, just TFR, BHU, JNU. If you cover those, I think that's sufficient. I mean, not for very high ranks, but more or less.
Okay, okay. So थोड़ा सा can you share कि अब what is the plan next? What are you looking forward to?
Well, for me, I intend to pursue my MSc from
Mhm.
IIT KGP. For
Kharagpur.
now, Kharagpur, yeah. So
I
my
think there's a good chance you
interest,
can get there.
yeah, I mean the cutoff previous year was around 220, so I think
220
I'll
around.
get that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So and my interest mostly lies in condensed matter physics.
Condensed
So I
matter.
intend to pursue that. So after MSc, I intend to pursue a PhD, preferably in some foreign institution. So I guess that's okay. For starters now, I must complete my sixth semester first.
Oh, you will
I'm also
complete
doing a
that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm also doing a project on supercapacitors, my final year project. So
Okay,
that's the thing.
okay.
So that's the plan for the next
So
few
you have made
years.
up your mind that you want to do research. So MSc two
Yes,
year at Kharagpur,
absolutely.
IIT Kharagpur, hopefully, and then after that
Yeah.
PhD. All
Yes, sir.
right, all right. Really nice, really nice. Saptarji.
It is same. I will do MSc from IIT Kharagpur only. I
हाँ.
think all three of us. I am my one of my friends is already at
अच्छा, आप
Kharagpur.
तीनों ने खड़गपुर डिसाइड किया है? Oh, so you are
Debabrata
going to be
also
Yes,
is
sir.
classmates.
sure. Yeah,
Yes,
Debabrata is
probably. And Elevate brought us
me and
together.
Alekhya will
Oh,
probably.
that's nice. So finally, you are going to be the physical classmates in one
Yes.
classroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you were saying, Saptarshi.
One of my friends is already at IIT Kharagpur. He has sent me some lectures and notes. I'm reading those. Just
Okay,
That's
okay.
intimidating, bro.
He has already started studying. नहीं, that's good यार. उसके बाद आपका भी research में interest है?
yes, I think I'll go for something experimental, not theoretical.
Experimental.
Like condensed matter physics or soft body physics.
Okay, okay. Interesting. Debabrata?
Yes, sir. I will do MSc from IIT Kharagpur, and then I want to clear GATE and NET, but
हाँ हाँ.
I did not find interest in research so far.
हम्म.
But in future, I will do.
बट बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है, वंस यू स्टार्ट डूइंग एमएससी देन योर एक्सपीरियंस, यू विल गेन न्यू
Yes,
एक्सपीरियंस
sir.
अबाउट
Yes.
फिजिक्स एंड रिसर्च. एक चीज़ मैंने नोटिस किया है एज अ टीचर, एज अ स्टूडेंट ऑल्सो, दैट अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल तक हमारे बहुत सारे दिमाग में आइडियाज़ होते हैं दैट गेट चैलेंज्ड व्हेन यू गो टू मास्टर्स. And so one suggestion, keep your mind open to what's going to happen when you go to masters. I've seen people who are not interested in research get into research later on. I've seen people who were interested in research earlier completely lose interest. So masters में आप जाएंगे ना तो physics is आप genuinely you will study physics. Undergraduate level physics is actually quite easy. Masters में you will really get into deep of the depth of the subject, where you will get exposure कि कल क्या हो सकता है, like what kind of things would you like to continue or not. So any kind of an advice कि फ्यूचर. एक और चीज़ मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा ये सुन के कि आप लोग खड़गपुर में जाकर के क्लासमेट्स होने वाले हैं. इन द नेक्स्ट 2 years यू आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड टाइम टुगेदर, विच इज़ रियली ऑसम. रियली ऑसम यार. हमें भूल मत जाना मेरे
Plus,
को एंड.
Yes, of course, sir.
Okay, so what advice, any kind. अच्छा, एक और चीज़, एलिवेट में एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा? आई मीन यू डिसाइडेड बेस्ड ऑन माई यूट्यूब वीडियो दैट यू आर गोइंग टू गिव मी योर ट्रस्ट, बट हाउ वाज योर इन जनरल एक्सपीरियंस इन द लास्ट couple of months, in the last 5-6 months?
yeah, it was great. Like my problem is that I cannot solo study. I cannot like fix my timetable. But in Elevate, we used like we had daily classes, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like I had a schedule that every day for 4 hours I'd study,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did the homeworks and assignments and everything. It went,
Okay. Okay, so it benefited you in your
yeah.
preparation.
Yes,
It
sir.
gave a motivation because there were many people in the group also.
Yes, there are many similar minded people who are also preparing in that same journey. Alekhya.
There were some students like Syed and Sukman who are actually very good students. For some
Yeah.
reason, they could not get good ranks. So collaborating with all of them like really gave a boost to the preparation.
एक्चुअली कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में क्या होता है ना, इट्स लाइक लाइफ यार. अप एंड डाउन अनसर्टेनिटीज आर ऑलवेज देयर. यू समटाइम्स गिव योर बेस्ट, मे बी ऐसा हो सकता है कि एग्जाम यू आर नॉट, यू डोंट गेट व्हाट यू एक्सपेक्टेड. समटाइम्स यू डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट but you get beyond expectations. So this is just part of life, it happens. But the
So
but the
actually,
yeah.
I mean, I realized something while preparing for IIT JAM, like preparing for a competitive exam. In my opinion, changes you
Hmm.
because in several days I felt so stressed by the
Hmm.
time. But yeah, I told myself that okay, let me sleep today, but when I wake up tomorrow, I still have to start studying.
Hmm.
I might get stressed tomorrow as well, maybe take a day off, but I
Hmm.
still need to get back. So
Hmm.
this IIT JAM taught me persistence, really. I mean, and this is very important, I feel, in life in general. Like preparing for a competitive exam changes you for the good
For the
if
good,
you are
yes.
dedicated for it, of course.
Hmm. Of course, of course. So, yeah, any last advice or suggestions you would like to give to future aspirants?
Keep calm,
Keep
seriously.
calm. Keep calm.
Like I saw many of my friends scoring much lower ranks than they expected simply because they could not sleep the night before. Then
Hmm.
they did not appear for proper mock tests.
Hmm.
Okay. Then
Hmm.
simply like I have a friend
Hmm.
who was my batch topper and
Hmm.
he's really exceptional. He could have gotten a top 10 rank maybe,
Hmm.
but he came to me that morning. We were in the same center. He said that I couldn't sleep yesterday because of tension. And actually, he just scored 1 or 2 marks more than me, but he should have scored much more. So he did not get his desired rank. So it's very important to keep calm. Very
Keep
important.
calm. Do not let stress take the best of you. इतना जो प्रिपरेशन
Absolutely.
है लास्ट मोमेंट पे, आई थिंक इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर कि लास्ट मोमेंट पे ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना चाहिए. यू शुड स्टॉप
Yeah.
स्टडिंग डे और टू बिफोर द एग्ज़ाम.
I didn't
also
just open my
also
books.
Yes.
also it's I think it's very important to prepare short notes for revision. Like what I used to do is I used to prepare a short, I mean very short notes, like only the formulae or the very other concepts in which I used to make mistakes, stuff like those.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me a lot in revising before the exams because there are seven major subjects and for all those subjects there are so many PDFs and everything scattered. So
Mm-hmm.
like 2 or 3 days before the exam, if you start searching for everything, your mind will get messed up. So
Everything
I
is
felt that,
cluttered.
yeah.
So it's
So
better
if
to
you
have
have,
your own
yeah,
notes that you can refer back to.
like I remember the entire rotational mechanics I had in 4 pages. So I
Hmm.
hardly took 10 to 15 minutes in revising entire rotational mechanics. So that's the thing. I mean, I feel that everyone must prepare those short notes. It's very tedious to make. It's extremely tedious, but those come in handy. Those greatly come in handy.
So during your preparation, you make these short notes, short formulas, short principle
Yes, sir.
statements,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
then because आपका नोट होगा तो आपको बाद में समझ में आएगा ना, किसी और का नोट होगा तो इट्स
Absolutely.
probably समझ में नहीं आ सकता है, but
Yeah,
आपका ही
yeah.
नोट होगा तो
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you will benefit from it later on when you are revising.
And
Okay.
those must be handwritten, I feel.
Handwritten में वो feel आती है ना.
Yeah,
That
I
feel
mean,
is there.
all your senses are together.
Yeah, it gives that feeling कि something is there, you know.
Yes, writing helps you remember also.
Yes, writing
Because when
and
you were preparing the notes, all your senses were together. So when you're revising that, I mean, there's a window. I think there's a window in our brain where there's like knock knock and everything comes around.
so those neural connections were already there and
Yeah,
now you are going
absolutely.
through them. So they are becoming stronger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
That's the thing.
right.
And
Okay,
also,
so yeah.
I'd like to say something. I have seen many students who, like, when they see a problem that they cannot solve, they get
Mhm.
stressed and directly jump onto the answer. They find the answer solutions. I would say that each question that you cannot solve isn't like opportunity for you to learn.
Hmm.
So you should at least take the question, have a basic idea of the concepts behind it, and you should at least struggle for it an hour. So then you will, when you see the solution, you will have an idea what I did wrong or what I should have done. If you struggle for it an hour, you can find out concepts, you can find out different methods to solve it yourself also. You can even find short tricks yourself. Uh, and you, if you want, you can, like, if you don't remember formula, try and derive it. If you
Hmm.
derive the formula, you don't have to derive in the exam, but you will remember the formula. You
Hmm.
can even in your head, like some formulas you can derive by using just dimensional analysis
Hmm. Hmm.
or something like that. So you should struggle with a question. Don't just jump onto the answer. Don't just send the question somewhere and tell someone to solve it for you.
दैट इज़ अ
Just
वेरी गुड पॉइंट, वेरी गुड पॉइंट, क्योंकि बहुत बच्चे क्या करते हैं, आंसर देखते हैं और फिर उनका माइंड बायस्ड हो जाता है एंड
yes,
दैट फिगरिंग आउट वेज टू कम अप विद दैट आंसर इंस्टेड ऑफ एक्चुअली
because
टैकलिंग द प्रॉब्लम.
yeah, in many solution keys they use a different approach in the solution, and you are not familiar with that approach. So if you struggle for it, you can maybe maximum number of times you can just solve it your ref, and then you will never forget that. And if you get a same question, you will always be able to solve it.
या ओके, दैट्स अ गुड पॉइंट. तो ठीक
Also,
है.
I have
या
another point to add.
या यस ऑफ कोर्स, गो अहेड.
So there's another point that I like that from I got from Satoshida's statement that while during the exam you must not employ this method. You
No,
must
no,
not
no.
get stuck on a question. Like
या
I feel that leaving questions is an art. Whenever I mean you must leave all your ego and everything is very important. Whenever you feel that even if you feel that it's a very easy question, I've done it several times before, but I cannot do it right now. Somehow it's not matching. You must leave it there and then.
So in the
It's very
examination,
It
you
is
should
important.
not get
applicable.
stuck with
It is
questions
applicable
in the
in exam.
examination so that you don't waste time. But जो general learning curve होता है, वहाँ पे it's better
Absolutely.
to explore and tackle
Yeah,
questions as much as possible. Examination time limited होता है ना. You have a very
Yes,
short
sir.
amount of time to solve. एक ही क्वेश्चन
Mhm.
में हाँ, ये
It's
भी एक
very
बहुत,
important.
या इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट. बहुत सारे बच्चे एक ही क्वेश्चन में बहुत टाइम वेस्ट कर देते हैं और फिर बाकी जो इजी क्वेश्चन है दे आर नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व इट, जो वो कर पाते हैं अगर वो एक ही क्वेश्चन में ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं
Mhm.
स्पेंड करते हैं. सो दैट्स, या दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट.
I use for this exam I use three passes. Like I go once what I can solve, then I go second time, then I go third time, and then what I leave, then I leave it.
ओके, सो यू ट्राई वंस एंड देन वो नहीं होता तो दूसरे मेथड से यू ट्राई सेकेंड टाइम एंड
Yes,
देन थर्ड टाइम
I
नहीं होता
solve
तो
the
यू लीव
paper.
इट.
I solve the paper once. All I can solve very short time. Then again I do which questions I see the question that I did not do, and I try them again and again three times. But
जो क्वेश्चंस नहीं हुए थे लास्ट टाइम उनको.
yes, no,
ओके, या दैट्स अ गुड
Also,
स्ट्रेटजी, यस.
don't repeat. Please don't repeat a terrible mistake that I made in this exam.
हम्म.
Like there was a harmonic oscillator question, okay,
हम्म.
in which the answer was 60 h cut omega. Now we had to write the, it was a NAT question, so we had to write the number. So
Mm-hmm.
when doing it for the first time, I got it to be 72, and I had written 72, and I had done that, clicked on that save and next button and went on. I came back to the question later on. I did the question again and it came to be 60, the correct answer. I wrote 60 and then I jumped on to the next question without clicking on save and next.
Hmm.
So I got the correct answer, but the answer registered was 72. For those 2 marks, I could have like got a rank of 160, 170. So I missed
Hmm.
completely that. I did that. So please don't repeat my problem. I repeat
Because
what I have
yeah,
done. This is terrible.
एक क्वेश्चन से ही बहुत ज़्यादा रैंक का डिफरेंस आ जाता है.
This
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
I
And then
did
I
a
jumped
question.
on. Yeah, absolutely.
This time there was a question, I think, of critical angle.
So I
Hmm.
got the correct.
I understood the question. I knew what to do, but I used a formula for Brewster's law.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I missed completely.
it
Repeat
was
what
it
I've done.
was
This is amazing.
it was very terrible. When I came out of the exam hall, I remembered it. I had to use critical angle formula.
Hmm. Sometimes it happens. There, exam is a
I mean,
pressure
I do have
situation.
several mistakes like that. Yeah, absolutely.
बिकॉज एग्जाम इज़ अ प्रेशर सिचुएशन. घर पे आप पढ़ाई करते हैं तो यू आर फ्री टू एक्सप्लोर, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट नहीं होता. एग्ज़ाम में प्रेशर होता है, परफॉर्मेंस का प्रेशर होता है, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट होता है. एंड सो इट्स ये सब चीज़ें होती है. इट हैपन्स, इट्स पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ. बट एनी वेज यू गेव योर एग्जामिनेशन, यू गॉट गुड रैंक्स. एंड नाउ एक बहुत बड़ा बोझ हल्का हो गया है आई थिंक आपके शोल्डर्स में से. एंड
Absolutely, sir.
yeah, आप लोग, I hope that you all three go into IIT Kharagpur and become good classmates for the next 2 years. And my best wishes to all three of you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
It was
Thank you, sir.
really wonderful talking to all three of you. So Alekhya, Saptarshi, Debabrata, best of luck.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Right? Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye. Thanks, sir.